Okay, Akash, let's proceed ahead with your HR for HPCL, and you are from law background, right?
Yes, sir.
So we start with your brief introduction, Akash.
Good evening, sir. My name is Akash Bhamu, and I'm a law graduate from the National Law University and Judicial Academy, Assam, of the batch 2017. I hail from the city of Jhunjhunu, Rajasthan, and I was born and brought up there. Thereupon, I completed my graduation, as I have just mentioned, and thereupon I pursued my master's in law from OPGS University, Churu, which is nearby to my hometown. Upon completion of my master's, I went on to work with Government of Haryana for 2 years and 5 months in as a legal assistant. And thereupon, I decided to resign from the position and started to practice law. After preparing for a while, I realized that I should be first preparing for other competitive exams where I can utilize my abilities for a position, and it would be best in keeping in view my characteristics. So as and then I started preparing for competitive exams, and I appeared for the computer based test of HPCL, and I was fortunate enough to be shortlisted for the interview. My hobbies, if I am to talk about them, include running and cooking.
Okay, so Akash, you have done job with Haryana government for 2 years.
Yes, sir. two
Can you
years
tell
and
us?
5 months, sir.
So can you tell us about the profile you were in? What were you doing there?
I was working as a legal assistant, sir,
Okay, which
and
government itself?
education department of
Education
education.
government. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
What
I
were
was
the rules
working as
and
a legal.
responsibilities? Yeah.
My roles and responsibilities included drafting of written statements primarily
Mm-hmm.
and briefing the law officer and the arguing counsels in the Punjab and Haryana High Court.
Mm-hmm.
Also, my work included drafting of charge sheets for the employees
Mm-hmm.
and policy research regarding to the service rules of uh, state of Haryana employees.
Mm. So that was a government job, Akash. What motivated you to leave it?
Sir, it was a contractual employment, and I waited for a while, but then I realized I could not foresee any growth in that job. So I thought for the better pastures and keeping in view the social upward mobility that every person has, I decided that I'll take some time off and see if I can find myself suited for a better position than I
Mm.
was working in.
Presently, what are you doing, Akash?
Sir, I have primarily preparing for competitive exams, and I also work in the free time as a drafter for my friends who are practicing in Punjab and Haryana High Court as well as in Rajasthan High Court. So
Mm.
I also happen to counsel some of my old friends with in regard to their disputes or matters, but I do not appear before the courts as of now. It's more of the back end work that I do.
So, Akash, is there any special reason why you want to be part of HPCL?
Sir, there are a few reasons that I would like to mention. I find that working for a PSU like HPCL would give me a great opportunity to use my capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
And as the corporation is also not solely profit
Mm-hmm.
motivated, it will also give me an opportunity to serve the society as well as the country. And it would be my input towards the development of the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think HPCL also undertakes a lot of CSR activities where I think if I'm given an opportunity to serve with HPCL, there would be some of my contribution that would go towards the social services.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but the same activities you could have done being a lawyer in High Court, right?
Sir, that is possible. That could have been possible, if I'm to be honest. But after I had quit my job, I tried working as a lawyer for a while, but I could not find myself to have a proper work-life balance. And I found myself in a position where I was physically very unfit, and it was very exhausting because there's no time limit to the work when I'm working as a lawyer, especially as a junior,
Mm-hmm.
and that took a great toll on my health.
Mm-hmm.
So then I thought it is not very much suited, and it also took a toll on my mental health, and then I could not foresee myself continuing the same.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, Akash, what do you know about HPCL as an organization?
HPCL, sir, to my limited knowledge, is a Maharatna company which works with uh, retail functioning of the oils, petroleum, and the lubricants, as well as a refinery. So these are the two functions in my knowledge that HPCL undertakes. It is a government enterprise.
Mhm. So, what future do you see of oil companies, Akash? Because oil is not a sustainable fuel.
It might be the on the apparent on the face of it, it might seem so that the oil might not be a long-term fuel or utilitarian product that would be used, but I still believe that for the coming years, before the whole world transcends totally upon electrical energy,
Mhm.
there would still be machineries which would be working on fuel. Aircrafts would be a great example that they would not be shifting to electric combustion engines very soon, or the electric engines very soon. Also, the business of lubricants is not going to vanish in the near future, sir.
Mm. Recent in one of the landmark judgment by Supreme Court
Sir,
have defined panel for the selection of election commissioners. Can you tell me who are the members of that panel?
Sir, Honorable Supreme Court just a few days ago has pronounced a judgment in the case of Anup Bhanakar versus Union of India, whereby the judgment was reserved in September 2022, but it has been pronounced just 2 days ago.
Mm.
And the Supreme Court has laid down that the panel for selection of election commissioner and chief election commissioner would include Prime Minister, leader of opposition, and Chief Justice of India.
Mm. And Akash, what is the problem with the collegium system as per executives?
The one ground that, on the basis of which the collegium system has been opposed by the executive, is that it is solely the judges who recommend the names of the people who are supposed to be appointed as judges.
Mhm.
So they have executive often put forward this point that it is highly a probable case of nepotism and favoritism that takes place in the appointment of judges.
Mhm.
So that is one ground that has been put forward by executive a number of times.
So, what is your view on National Judicial Appointment Commission?
In my view, the idea of National Judicial Appointment Commission was a very innovative idea that, if was implemented, or if it was improved to the needs and what do I say, necessities of judiciary as well as executive, it could have been a very well established setup. But
Mm.
then it had its own flaws, sir. One of the flaws that I can recall, and on the basis of which it was also held unconstitutional, was
Mm.
it somehow indicated that it would harm the independence of judiciary, because there would be involvement of several executive persons such as prime minister, law minister,
Mm.
and another person nominated by two of them, who
Mm.
would have a say in appointment of judges, which came into direct conflict with Article 50 of the Constitution of India,
Mm.
which talks about independence of judiciary from the executive,
Mm.
and which is also a part of basic structural doctrine. So it was held unconstitutional. It could have been a very good idea, in my opinion, but it certainly needed some changes.
Mm. Okay, Akash, why you think you should be considered for this particular post?
Sir, as I introspect about myself, I find myself adaptable to the situation where I'm given a position to serve the corporation. Also, I'm a quick learner, so it would not take me very long so as to understand how the organization functions, and I
Mm.
can very well fit into the role.
Mm.
Also, I can I'm a very perseverant person, which I realized while I had my health issues.
Mm.
So if I have the permission, I can exemplify it with my personal experience.
Mm. You
Do I
know who
have
is
your
the
permission, sir?
who is the CMD of HPCL?
As I had read it, it is Mr. Pushp Joshi,
Mm. Okay. And any lawyer who you think is a director of HPCL?
sir. Sorry, I have no information, or I cannot recall as of now.
Mm. Okay. Okay, Akash, let me give you the feedback now.
Please, sir.
Akash, in the introduction, you need not to tell which batch from National Law School you are from. So you need not to mention batch of 2017.
Okay, sir.
Introduction should not end up at hobbies and all. Maybe it can end up
Okay.
at your job presently you are doing, or you have done the jobs in the past, because that is where they will pull the interview actually,
Okay, sir.
right? So let the interview be pulled in particular direction. Sometime in the
Okay.
hobbies and all they will not enter, so they will be asking you question from the job experience you had, right?
Okay, sir.
And don't
I'll take
mention
care.
your health issues and all you faced and all, because that will look like excuse.
Okay, sir.
So maybe you should not mention that,
Okay.
right? And rest knowledge about HPCL and ONGC both should be there. You should have
Okay, sir.
knowledge about both these organizations, because HPCL is a part of ONGC now. And
Yes,
whatever
sir.
current issues in law are there, just keep revising those issues.
Yes, sir. I've been keeping on track.
Yeah, so you are already aware about that. And what roles you are going to play in HPCL as a lawyer, that is what you should know.
Sir, I'll go through it.
Yeah, the rest I found is okay. I mean, flow and everything is okay, Akash, from your side.
Okay, sir.